Hello, everyone. I'm kind of in the dark here because it's really hot outside, so forgive the lighting. Anyways, I am here today to talk to you guys about fears. So, if you are interested in working through some of your fears, working on yourself, doing a little shadow work, whatever you want to call it, then stick around. I have an exercise for you guys. So, this involves, I guess you can type this out. I prefer to write it. I think that um, writing it is just more personal when you're writing something down in your own writing. So fear, and I'm not necessarily talking about fear of snakes or spiders. These are more fears that are subconsciously holding you back from your success or your growth. Fears that keep you stuck in avoidance and start to cause you to miss opportunities. So, and I have a few examples of these fears as well, just to give you guys an idea. So, fear of making the wrong choice, fear of other people's opinions, fear of traveling, flying, driving a car, fear of success, fear of failure, fear of rejection. There are so many different examples. A new one that I just learned is called nomophobia. That's what it's called. Nomophobia, which is a fear of being without your phone, not feeling safe without your phone. So there are a lot of these things. And it can be helpful to work through these by writing this down and identifying your fears. So that is the first step, is writing down, what are my fears? And just that alone is amazing. Identifying that, what are my fears, is something that a lot of people avoid and don't always want to think about or talk about. So just writing down, what are my fears? What's holding me back? Can be very helpful. But we're going to take it a few steps further even. So if you're doing the work and you want to write down and identify your fears, then you can also write down, how much of your life do you spend in fear and worry? That just takes it a step further. How much of my life am I spending in this fear and worry? How much is this really affecting me? And then when you write these down, like I was just basically saying that. Sorry, I'm reading too my notes here. Oh yeah, what I was going to say was, when you start writing this stuff down, and this is why I like writing so much, because it how do I explain this? When you write it down, it kind of takes you to that place in your brain that you're used to avoiding. And you're able to sit with that for a little bit and start noticing what comes up for me when I think about this or when I write this down. And take a minute to recognize that. Does your chest feel tighter as you think about it and you write it? You know, do you have an ache or pain here or there? What does it bring up for you? Not only mentally, but physically. What does it bring up for you? And it's kind of like solving a riddle. It's kind of like solving a riddle. And it gives you an idea of, if I work through this thing, you know, I feel lighter, right? I can let this go. I can breathe easier. Obviously, I'm holding something in my chest from this fear. So not only identifying what your fears are, how much of your time do you spend worrying or letting those fears consume you, but then also what feeling do you get in your body when you think about these fears? What thoughts go through your mind? How does it really make you feel? Does it make you feel, come up with some words? Helpless, hopeless, I just heard. Yeah. Just identify how it makes you feel. That step right there can really help you move some stuff around if you believe in energy work and you believe in body scanning and tapping into your body to see what's going on with you. So number 4 would be starting to think about and write down what ways can you work through these fears? What ways can you work through this? Even if you're just starting with one small example, I can change this about my daily activities, that can really help you work through some of these things. So the next thing I have is, what story are you telling yourself? And at the time that I wrote this, I kind of had grouped negative thinking into this activity. So if you struggle with that as well, you could do this with fear or with negative thinking, and just kind of like identifying your negative thoughts, how much time is consumed with these negative thoughts daily, and that sort of thing. Writing down the negative thoughts that you notice coming up and the feelings that you get. It's the same type of thing. And so kind of grouping those two things together, but today I wanted to focus more on the fears. And so the last part of this was, what story are you telling yourself? And that goes along with both of these very well, I think, with fear and with negative thought patterns. When you start to identify what story you are telling yourself, and you really start to pay attention to the thoughts that you are observing or giving the most attention to, especially if you are a person who struggles with that type of thing, it's amazing. It really can change your life. Just taking that time to sit with these thoughts, and also working on changing them and doing positive affirmations. That's something that I feel very passionate about. It's extremely helpful to rewire and reprogram your brain. And we are capable of doing that as humans. We are capable of doing that. If you're a person who's just like, I'm just wired negatively, like that's who I am, that's you can change that, I promise you. And it makes a huge difference in your life. So anyways, I hope this helps. Another thing is just being more precise and specific about your fears or your negative thoughts, really getting down to like specifically what they are or what they mean to you. This is helpful for that. And I have this piece that I wanted to read as well to end this video. So it's from, I had saw this through somebody and I really liked it. I wrote it down, And it's from like an old science fiction movie called Dune. Litany Against Fear. I must not fear. Fear is the mind killer. Fear is the little death that brings total obliteration. I will face my fear. I will permit it to pass over me and through me. And when it has gone past, I will turn the inner eye to see its path. Where the fear has gone, there will be nothing. Only I will remain. So I thought that that was very fitting and a good way to end this video. Face your fears. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye.